Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. How about that? Right on time. Good Saturday morning, everybody. I know this is a little out of our realm doing Saturday morning coffee, but I kind of like it. I know you guys are anxious to go over Chris Proudfoot's ex. I am too. But you know how we are here at J for J. We're getting everything together, and then we're going to go over it in depth. So I want to thank Trevor for getting that interview out there with Chris Proudfoot's ex-wife. It was very eye-opening. It was very sad. And if you didn't see it, it is on Trevor Lee's channel. Trevor Lee advocates for missing children. He helped a lot in Summer Wells' case. And if you haven't noticed, I am sporting some J for J merch. We have these awesome tie-dye shirts. They are embroidered. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's embroidered. J is for Justice podcast. They're very thick, nice shirts. But if you do order one, they are large. So I ordered an XL. It's 100% cotton, but it does run big. But they're very nice quality, just so you know. And also, there is some stitching on the sleeve. But I think I'm going to change that up because it's too small for the logo. So I think I'm going to put something else on the sleeve. But there are 4 different tie-dye styles in the store. So if you could put the merch store up in the chat, that would be greatly appreciated. Welcome in. I know that this is kind of old news, but I am a little behind because I've been following Sebastian Rogers so closely. I haven't had a chance to listen to all of their jail calls of Ruby and Jodi's jail calls. But before we begin, I want to kind of show you guys a video from Connexions husband and wife couples retreat. So here's a couple little screenshots for you before we begin on some history on Jodi Hildebrandt. Let's get through this first. First one we have is Jodi Hildebrandt was actually wanting to be a solo singer. I know this is really hard to believe, but she wanted to be a solo singer and she was in pageants. Check it out. Here we have Jodi Hildebrandt, 20. This is what she looked like at 20. Is the daughter of blank Hildebrandt. She graduated from Canyon del Oro High School in 87. She had a basketball scholarship to Rick's College for 87 and 88. I knew I got TNT vibes from her. I knew it. Basketball scholarship. Say no more. Say no more. She attended Utah Valley Community College during 89-90. Jodi has an individualized study in voice and has been in a touring choir. She enjoys participating in sports and was voted the most valuable player in volleyball. First team All-City and was captain of the state champs in basketball 87. She is in the process of producing an album of songs. We need to get our hands on this. And would like to get a professional singing contract so she can share her music. Jodi's talent for the pageant will be a vocal solo. Scary stuff.
Psychopathy.
Okay, there's the first one. Now here is a group. Here's a group photo. So she decided singing wasn't for her, went to cult leader, I guess.
I don't know.
Check out this group photo. Weirdest photo ever. So their centerpiece looks like a Hummel. Do you guys know what Hummels are? They're those German figurines. Look. That's Jodi where the red arrow is. The only one not smiling. Look at her. Fanned, isn't she? Potato said Marilyn Manson looking ass. Or Marilyn, whatever. Charles Manson looking ass, not Marilyn. So the fact that this lady was in pageants and was Mormon, do you think that she knew Lori Vallow, Lori Cox, or Alex Cox, or Summer Cox? I wonder. Yeah, she looks disturbed there, if I do say so myself. Yikes. Okay, so before we get into the jailhouse calls, I'm going to share a video from Connexions with you guys. Diana, I know, it's early. This is from their couples retreat, and I'm probably going to get copyright struck for this. So keep that in mind. I might have to, well, fuck it. Here we go.
What the? Oh my gosh.
These are wives and husbands of Connexions. Okay. Well, if she graduated in the late 80s, I think she'd be about the same age as the older Cox sisters. Because they all went to BYU. So these are the wives and husbands, and this is Jodi. Jodi's skit with the emasculated husbands. Kevin Franke right behind Jodi in this skit.
Oh no.
I have to pause for a second. Are you are you shooketh yet? Come on, people. Come on, this is gold material here. This woman was running all these. Look at these people. All of them brainwashed. Brainwashed.
First I was afraid, I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong. And
You know how she got these men to do this kind of shit? Rodney. You know what? I'll mute it. Island, I know. Island, you crack me the fuck up. Oh my God. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Bye, Black Eagle. Good morning, hon. Lisa. You know how she got these guys to do this shit? Getting their wives to withhold sex. She turned these men into submissive schmucks. Submissive schmucks. They're wearing gold sashes and dancing behind her as she sings this powerful female song. Yes. Hey, Ave, I saw you in modding last night. I don't know if you saw me say hi to you in Trevor's. Hey, Cole. What would it take to get some men to do this for Jodi? What's up, Emily? You're going to need some more coffee and probably a joint.
Was strong, and I learned how to get along, and so you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here without that look upon your face.
Look at these women. Look at these women. Their husbands are completely emasculated. What's up, potato? What's up, potato? Oh, yay. I'm glad you saw me, Ave. She taught these chicks that men were the devil. And these women love it. They're loving it. Oh, my God. People. Look at these brain. I just saw this and I was in absolute shock. Island, right? Sybil, right? What's up, Frag? She really thinks she's Diana Ross? Oh, shit.
Oh, 'cause you're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? You think I'd crumble? You think I'd lay down and die? Oh, no, not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to.
Look at Kevin Franke. I just want back in my house. I just want to live in my house. This is the kind of shit I have to do. What the fuck? Excuse my French, but holy. Potato.
Love, I know I'll stay alive. Now I've got all my life to live. Now I've got all my love to give. And I'll survive. I will survive. Hey, hey. Sing with me now.
She said, sing with me now. She really thinks she's a star. This lady is so deranged. I can't.
No.
Oh, do you like my backup dancers? Yeah, these men I'm humiliating for you. Look at these women. They're like, yeah, they're schmucks. They watch porn. They're evil.
Like my backup dancers?
Oh my God. These people are idiots.
You're what the French call les incompetents.
Did I ask you, why are people such idiots?
This is insane. It's absolutely, you like my backup dancers? Dude, I don't even know what to say. Look at Kevin. Look at Kevin. I just want back in my house, Frankie. Bean feathers. Where's Ruby? I don't know. I don't fucking know. Tracy, me either. Look, the women, they even show the women recording this like, dudes, your shit is all over the internet. Like, they were putty in this woman's hands. They were putty in this woman's hand, in Jodi's hands. She got these men right where she wanted them.
I'm not that gentle little person still in love with you. And so you felt like dropping in and just expect me to be free. Now I'm saving all my loving for someone who's loving me. Oh, now go! Walk out the door! Don't turn around now, 'cause you're not welcome anymore.
Is Isn't that what she told Kevin? Walk out the door. You're not welcome anymore. This is Jodi's song, girls. This is Jodi's song. Meanwhile, yeah, she's sleeping in bed with Ruby, and Ruby tells Kevin, don't come a knocking unless I tell you to. This is real. Yes, this is from the Connexions Facebook. This is from a weekend couples retreat. This is where the couples are supposed to be reconnecting. Potato.
Weren't you the one who tried to break me with goodbye? You think I'd crumble? You think I'd lay down and die?
Did you see her turn around and laugh at them? Dude, she used these idiots and they fell for it hook, line, and sinker.
I will survive. Oh.
Wait for it.
On now, go. Walk out the door. Don't turn around now, 'cause you're not
Wait for it.
welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? Think I'd crumble? You think I'd
Look at-
lay down and die? Oh, no, not I.
She made the backup singers go dance around the crowd in their sashes while she takes the stage.
I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. I've got all my life to live, and I've got all my love to give.
She doesn't want to stop. She keeps going.
I'll survive. I will survive. Hey, hey.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Exactly, bean feathers. Right. Right. It's, hey, Poon. Hey, Poonie.
Niggas wife me once they get that good punani.
Okay, so the scary thing is that there's still people that are behind the scenes, like, that helped Jodi. Like, this wasn't a one-woman show or a two-woman show or even a three-woman show. There's a whole nother group. The Hannahs and the Berries are two families. And the Berries know none other than Chad the Chin Daybell. Was she? I didn't see Ruby. Let's go back and look. She was in a purple top. Oh, was that some funny stuff, though? I mean, it's just amazing to me. It really blows my mind what Jodi was able to get these people to do. And I mean, he was doing this shit in 2021. He moved out in what, 2022? Which one's Ruby? The one with the boot on her foot? Is that Ruby? Because I don't see Ruby's ass. Or is she standing in the back recording right here in the gray pants? Is that Ruby?
I should have changed that stupid lock.
Who are these girls? Look at these young girls. Look at these young girls at this shit. These girls can't be more than 30 years old.
I should have made
Tweety Bird shirt.
you leave your key. If I'd have known for just 1 second.
God, and then an old lady, like what? This crowd, and then look, there's a guy over there recording by the door. All these people need mental evaluations. Just saying. There's several camera people in that room. Yeah, I don't see Ruby. But let's take another look. God, I can't with Jodi and her outfit. I mean, could these people not see that she's a lesbian? She's not for your relationships. She's for you. She wanted all these women to herself. I don't understand it. Yeah, I don't see Ruby either. Look at these idiots, though. And she just loved that spotlight. Look at her. Once her backup dancers.
Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? Think I'd crumble? You think I'd lay down and die? Oh, no, not I. I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know.
It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. A bunch of Mormon women with a bunch of money being brainwashed. She wanted cuddles at night from the wives. Yeah, I think, yes, I think her whole deal was her own sexual perversion. Me too. Standing up and dancing while their men look like idiots. Myron, I got this from Facebook. Connexions Facebook is still up. Tell me why. Tell me why their Facebook for Connexions and their Instagram is still active. Jodi Hildebrandt's LinkedIn is still active. They have a lot of their episodes are still on Apple. I don't know if you guys are interested in listening to those, but I would be happy to play them. I mean, they're quite interesting to listen to, knowing what was going on. I wonder if Jodi essayed any of the young wives. Bean feathers. So what bothered me was that Jodi was taking trips to Arizona looking for property so the kids could work on a ranch when the kids were like literally days away from death. But she was traveling with the oldest Franke daughter that was living at home, not Sherry, but Julie, who was a teenager. Jodi was taking Julie out of the state to Arizona to look at property. I don't trust Jodi alone with Julie. I don't trust Jodi alone with anybody. There's still 13K members of the Moms of Truth Facebook group. I am, Myron. Thank you. Very embarrassing. The point of this activity, I don't know. To show Jodi's power. Look at Kevin in that picture. I mean, it's just unbelievable. They're gold sashes tied around their heads and their waist. And she called them her backup singers. Mm-hmm. Exactly, Emily. Exactly, Sybil. Had R not escaped, God knows what would be happening right now. So let's get into, we're going to listen to Ruby and Jodi's calls from jail. Ruby's are about 36 minutes long, and then Jodi's are about 12. So nothing crazy. Fafa Fuki, what's up, girl? This is these people. You play the flute and they listen to whatever you say. Right? Ginger, I was thinking the same thing. Like, I was watching this and I'm like, he was probably doing everything in his damn power to get back in his house, to get back in his his marriage and to be told by Jodi that his marriage was going great and it was going to be saved and it was going to be all right. He did all this and he still got the boot. Unbelievable. So let's listen. We're going to start out. This is going to be Ruby and Kevin. And this is her first call after being arrested.
And please see the truth. I know it's obscured.
I'm where I see the facts, I see the truth, and that's what I'm gathering.
You know my heart.
What are they charging you with?
2 charges of second-degree felony for child abuse.
2 charges of second-degree felony child abuse.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. That's very serious.
It's interesting. I had the prompting over the last month to read Viktor Frankl. I was reading him. And
who's Viktor Frankl? The sound is great. Let's look up Viktor Frankl because I don't know who that is. That's got to be some kind of Mormon thing. Viktor Frankl? Maybe I'm just weird, but what is Viktor Frankl? Oh, he's Jewish. Frankl, the consciously known God, was an important part of his life from the time of his childhood with his family, for whom their Jewish religion was of highest importance. Man's Search for Meaning is his book. By psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl. Oh shit. Why is she reading a book about a Holocaust survivor? It's a contemporary book on finding meaning in severe suffering. Okay, Ruby, you're nuts. She laughs and she laughs. This guy wrote about how to get through severe suffering and she freaking laughs. The first minute of this call is already disturbing.
it's interesting. I had the prompting over the last month to read Viktor Frankl. I was reading him, and it was like the worst part was not knowing the end. He said he had an inmate that's man search for meaning, and he was a prisoner in World War II, and he said the worst part and the greatest bringing of depression was not the lack of food, and it wasn't the weather conditions, it was not knowing how long it would last. So I think I was prepared for this. I do feel strong, I feel calm. And you know what, adults have a really hard time understanding that children can be full of evil and what that takes to fight it.
Okay, one other thing that's disturbing in here is that she refers to people as adults. I don't understand why she refers to people as adults. Does she see herself as a little girl? This lady is mental, because she later on calls herself, I'm a good girl. It's some disturbing ass shit twisted up in this whole mess. Sexual deviation, being a good girl, calling people adults like she's not one of them. Like she's not a peer of an adult. It's weird. It's weird.
You've seen what it takes to fight evil. It's not the person you're fighting. And it can look like something it's not. And you've been there, you know that. And so I don't know any adults who are going to see the truth. So I'm calm about this, and I just pray that you'll hang in there.
You have 1 minute remaining for this call.
I think I can call back, but
Yeah, but just in case, I'm preparing to step up and fight for the children. They've been taken, and there's going to be a hearing in the next couple of days here in Provo.
I'm sorry, I signaled to Joe. Will you say that one more time?
Yes, I'm prepared to step up and fight for the children. They've been taken into custody. They're in foster care, and there's going to be a hearing within the next 2 or 3 days.
What about Abby and Julie?
Them too. All 4 were taken.
Where did they go to get Abby and Julie?
See, Abby and Julie were the ones at Pam Botcher's house. The ones that were sitting on the porch that were taken by DHS. Well, guess what? Or whatever, CPS. If you think about that body cam and think about Pam Botcher having Abby and Julie at her house and actually having them clean and all this bullshit. They were actually at the rec center swimming when Pam Botcher picked them up. So I think Ruby was in preservation mode. She had some kind of an inkling that this was happening, that something was happening, because Pam Botcher had those kids. And now she's asking Kevin, oh, where were they? She knew damn well where they were. What was the plan? Was the plan for those girls to go to Costa Rica with her friends? Weird. I'm very concerned about Julie. Very.
I don't know. They while I was with them, they got Abby, and they were looking.
You have exceeded the allowable time for this call. Goodbye.
It's cut off.
Yeah. Hi.
Okay.
When I saw how long this separation was lasting, I wanted to think of some ways that I could bring in money or make some money if you didn't ever come back. So that's when I asked if you would co-sign on a loan if I found a house, and maybe I could Airbnb it or rent it out, or I've been playing with numbers in my head and I think I could make something, but I don't want to be dumb. I want to be very conservative. So I pulled the money and I have it in a bag. And
With you?
With you, yeah, in
Do the
jail.
police have it?
well, I don't know what the police took. I don't know what the police have.
But the bag was at Jodi's house?
They can't just take people's money. I mean, that's not right.
Well, they're not going to take the money, but when they have a search warrant.
They can't just take people's money. That's not right. But all those wounds on my kid's ankles and putting cayenne pepper in them was.
They have access to everything in the house.
Sure. Yeah.
I have a feeling we're going to need that money.
We might do. So, I haven't been making big purchases. I've been very conservative. I think the biggest expense has been the kids' schooling, and that's, they have enough curriculum to get them for a couple years. So.
School curriculum? She's wearing.
Okay. I just received a text from Ted Dawson out of the blue. Ted Dawson.
Are we in the news?
Who I haven't heard from in years.
What, he just texted you?
Yeah, the story's out. So he said, Stormy sent me an article and it just broke my heart. I just wanted you to know I'm thinking about you, and if I can ever be a resource, we are always here.
Are we in the news?
It sounds like at least you're in the news.
He's like, you're in the news. Who's Ted Dawson? And why would he need to be a resource? Let's see who that is. Did he say Ted Dawson? Isn't that the Mormon, or isn't that the actor, Ted Dawson? Was that his name?
Text you?
Yeah, the story's out. So he said, Stormy sent me an article and it just broke my heart. I just wanted you to know I'm thinking about you, and if I can ever be a resource, we are always here.
Are we in the news?
It sounds like at least you're in the news. I don't know about me. I don't know what he's talking about. But
I'm wondering if they went to Sherry to, ask her questions.
Sherry's the oldest daughter, by the way.
I don't know.
These bookings are public.
I know they are. And a couple months ago, Business Insider was reaching out to me, and I ignored their email. But I'm going dark.
This is a witch.
I'm not at BYU. I'm not at BYU anymore, so I don't know how they're going to find me.
Coming in hot.
Yeah, maybe it was a blessing. This is a witch hunt.
A witch hunt, my ass. Okay, we're going to stop there since he brought up BYU. I'm going to read you a couple of Kevin Franke's reviews as a professor.
So is that a joint?
And
or is it a cigar?
Here's one. Awful. He took 10 points off my grade because he saw me doing a TikTok dance outside of class. And he said I broke honor code and was promoting pornography. I was only doing the Rolex dance. Another one. Awful. He once pulled me by the arm into his office to yell at me for doing a TikTok dance outside of the building. Another one. Awful. Kevin believes that mental health is a, quote, personal choice, which is a very dangerous belief. He is a horrible and uncaring man who should not be teaching. I think that's it. But one thing that I wanted to note that he says in this is, and keep your ears open, he says, I am going to do everything I can to keep truth in our family. And this is a word that they used in Connexions. Keeping the truth. Living in truth. Truth. They always talk about truth. I think that all these people could be manipulating everyone. I think Ruby and Kevin know exactly how to play the system. They act somewhat remorseful, but it doesn't come across as genuine. Kevin files for divorce, yet we hear their calls make it look like he's distancing himself so he can get those kids back and make amends with your family and the church so that it looks good that everyone has forgiven you. What do you think? I mean, their manipulation runs deep, y'all. Runs deep. What do you think of that?
The devil's been after me for years. And he's mad as heck.
Have you shared that with the detectives?
I have not said a word until I have an attorney.
Okay, well, you know that this phone call is being recorded.
You have 1 minute remaining for this call.
Yes, that will come out. That will come out.
Okay.
When we were driven to the jail, the detective was putting us in the car, and Jodi said, "I trust you." So
they're going to be in the hospital for 3 days.
So weird. It's just not necessary.
That's what she has to say about her children being in the hospital for 3 days with their injuries. Ugh, that's so weird. Ugh, it's just not necessary.
They're trying to exaggerate this. Wow.
I don't. They didn't show me.
Like the hero.
Well, they didn't show me any pictures or anything, but the way they described it, it was very serious.
He doesn't seem to be taking it very serious, does he?
You have exceeded the allowable time for this call. Goodbye.
You know what you called? You had to put her in a chair, and it was horrible. It was torturous last night, hearing the screaming and the banging and people. It's like,
so she's upset. It was torturous being in jail last night and hearing the banging and the people. What about Eve screaming all night, like you wrote in your journal, bitch? What about Eve wailing all night long? You could handle listening to that, or did you and Jodi just close up the compound on your side of the house? Evil bitch.
Okay, that's upsetting. But the most upsetting thing is that I am completely misunderstood. That is the most horrible feeling. Like my own family misunderstands me. They misinterpret me. And poor Jodi. They misinterpret her. They misunderstand her. She puts her neck out on the line for people, and then they get mad at her. I mean, it is just horrendous.
She puts her neck on the line for people, and it's horrendous.
It's horrendous. And you know what? Every Joseph Smith, every wonderful man of God has had to be misunderstood.
Who's Joseph Smith?
That's right.
And so I'm going to get out of this. Who knows? Maybe in 10 days I'll get out of this.
Awesome.
If truth prevails right now, or who knows, like 20 years. I don't know. I don't know how long. But I'm going to step out. I'm going to say I went through everything. I have seen God's children suffer. All the people here, my jail cellmates, have been beautiful women, but they've been hurt. They've been deceived into drugs, and my heart just has so much compassion for them. And
you are a crazy bitch.
I have compassion for the cops, and I have compassion for myself. And then to be told that I'm suicidal, I'm like, no, that's not true. Anyway, if you need to let
Sherry, that was either Sherry or one of your siblings.
Well, they're all in cahoots. One means all of them, but yes, you're right. In your hearing, I don't know if you've considered this. I don't know if it'd be helpful, but you could have the house.
You can have
and if all the kids go to the house, you've got room there, and I will gladly stay away and let you guys be. So I don't know if that's helpful. I'm just giving it to you if it is.
She's giving him the house. She's giving him the fucking house.
Thank you. And in the discussions with my attorney, that's the only way that we're going to retain custody of the children.
That's fine.
That's fine.
35 years in this, and he said, even if you...
Why is he even discussing anything with her right now? He's on the horn with her the day after she's arrested. I would have been like, fuck you, bitch. Those kids are in the hospital for 3 days. And he's on the phone talking to her. You know why? Because he was shut out and he's clueless. He's an idiot. He's a total idiot.
Are acquitted and are released, they will place legal restrictions on your access to the under 18 children.
I figured such.
She doesn't give a fuck.
God told me when I was driving before I called you. I didn't have any information. I didn't know anything, and the Spirit said, your children are going to be removed. And I cried out loud. I'm like, no, I'm not done. I'm not ready.
I'm not done. They're not dead yet.
And
fucking weirdo.
God told me I'm done. And I just, So.
I love your new pic, Karchi.
Satan has taken everything away from me that I love.
Satan's taken everything.
And I'm a good woman. I don't do naughty things.
Naughty?
I don't do naughty things. I'm a really good girl.
Ew. That is so disturbing.
Ruby, I'm going to do everything that I can to keep
truth
in our family.
Right here.
And
thank you.
I'm committed to our family. I'm committed to you and our marriage, no matter what happens.
Thank you.
I'm committed to you and our marriage and keeping truth in our family.
Thank you.
I will be here to support you in any way that I can.
Well, thank you for stepping up.
You need to go.
Thank you for stepping up.
Call me back when or if you need.
When will you find out? How can I call you? When should I call so I find out what they say?
I don't know how long this will go, but if you call this afternoon, I will know. This is a preliminary hearing, so there will be no...
Okay. Well, it's hard to get a phone around here. I asked for a phone, and it took hours to get it, so it may not be until later tonight. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. All right. Good luck. I will be praying for you.
Good luck.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
This is a call from
He's
and
as
paid
sick
for
as she
by
is. I agree.
Ruby, thank you. Purgatory Corrections.
an inmate at Purgatory Correctional Facility. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. If you don't wish to talk, hang up now.
Hello?
Who's this man?
Hello? Thank you for using Telmate.
Is this her lawyer?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, that was...
Over there.
It's 9:30. We're good.
Okay.
Who is this, her dad?
Yeah, yeah. We're 8 hours ahead.
Okay.
I'm glad you could call us back.
Yeah. I haven't used the phones very much. They're kind of hard to figure out, but yeah, I think I figured out how to use. I don't think this one will shut me off. I think the one I called you was a free call, and this one will be paid for by my account. Kevin, Bo put some money in it. But I was saying I can't say everything that I want to say, but I really did feel like the arrest was like a rescue. Like I just felt so many angels around, and it was like a relief. It was just really kind of surreal, kind of strange. But I just keep thinking about, President Nelson's talk, think celestial, and I know he said in the past
she ain't celestial
about myopic thinking, and
I'm gonna get some coffee.
He's given a lot of context to how small this life really is, and I'm just so grateful. How many people
try not to get too loony while I'm gone.
Go to the grave not having woken up, and I want to use this time that I am using this time to change, to repent, and to do what I can to let the Lord know I love him and my family. And I've had many experiences here to kind of guide my thinking. It's like, I don't know, my attorney's been really good. Did you know my attorney is...
I believe that God has a hand in the old Ruby, being kind of
yes, I do.
set free or whatever you want to call it, that, thing being gone.
Yeah.
Can you guys see the closed
Absolutely. Absolutely. I could not come out of this without...
This is her sister?
Without his grace, without his mercy, without his help. This has been the strangest and the most miraculous intervention.
Intervention?
It put everybody where they needed to be. It separated me from Jodi, so I'm not hearing her. And I think being gone and not hearing her has cleared a lot of things up for me. And it put the kids in a place where they're...
You have exceeded the allowable time for this call. Goodbye.
Did you see that Jodi pled guilty today?
I did see that.
This is her sister.
Is that a relief for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big relief. It's a big relief. There would have been positive the other way too. Had she not pled guilty, there's enough evidence that she could have been convicted for life. But that would have been messy. It would have been really messy, and the kids would have. So.
The kids would have had to testify? Is that what she was going to say?
Do you and her get the same outcome no matter what now, or is there a chance that it would be different?
That's a really good question. That's one that I've asked Lamar. No, we can still have different outcomes. So Ellie asked a little bit about this. I wrote it out in a text to her. But
who's
so
Ellie?
The next thing that will happen.
Who's Ellie? Does anybody know who Ellie is? She texted Ellie.
Then is I will fill out, and she will fill out probation and there's another P. Paperwork, and basically you go through your history and you tell them your history, which there's no history on me. There's nothing, no criminal history, no mental health history, nothing. And I'm also hiring a professional to do a mental health evaluation, just to say she's good, like there's no mental health problems at all. And then that will go to my probationary board. Jodi, she can lie on her paperwork, and she probably will. I don't think she's going to give them her history. But I think in the interview it's going to be apparent that she's mentally ill.
And you're not?
And so that will affect how long someone, because they're looking, how repentant are you? How much responsibility are you taking? How are you aware that what you've done is wrong? And she's not.
So this bitch thought that she was going to walk into court and thank the cops for saving her kids and all this, that, and the other, and that she's going to get leniency because of that. And even the people on YouTube, like these, lawyers and whatever that give their opinions, have said they've never seen a defendant thank the police for arresting her or for arresting them. She's thanking the police in her sentencing. If she fools these people, I'm going to be so mad.
She's the only reason she pled is because she didn't want to do life. She knew I would testify.
She knew I would testify.
The other thing is, on my plea deal, when I come up for probation, the prosecuting attorney can, will often, if they think that you're a danger to society, will talk to the probationary board and or write them a letter saying, I think she needs to stay where she is.
You need to stay where you are, lady. That's for damn
sure. Going to stay neutral and not write any letter when my probation comes up, which is a really big deal. But for her, he's not going to stay neutral. So we can come up to probation, and I can get off on probation, and she may not.
Get
What
off
does
on probation. You like that wording?
What does that all entail?
It can look like several different things, I think. I'm still learning about this, and I think I never realized how complicated it is. I always thought you pled guilty and they'd tell you how long you're in.
Yeah, there's a lot of terminology to know.
Yeah, and you know, half of the stuff that is said goes over my head, and then I have to go, you know, I come back and I ask the girls here, I'm like, what does this mean? What does this mean?
Yeah.
But
I asked the girls.
Probation could look like going home. Like, you could go home.
Going home?
Sometimes, you know, it might look like going home with restrictions, like you can go home, but you need to live with somebody who's responsible and you can't be around certain people. Like, they may say you could go home if your parents agree to house you, but you can't go home to where your kids are living. It could look like something like that.
Okay.
Or it could look like something where I have an ankle monitor. Or it could look like you can go home if you pay a $10,000 fine. Or maybe it could look like
she is insane.
Instead of serving the rest of your time, we'll give you some good time and you can go home in half the time. Or so I think that probation, getting off on probation, I think looks like there's several different ways that could happen.
Oh.
10 grand. She thinks she's going to pay a fine and be done.
Good to know.
Yeah.
And is that usually after you've already served some time then?
Say that one more time.
That's after you have served some time?
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know what that is going to be. I don't know if it's... One of the girls said that it would be for me 6 months, but I've also heard it could be 4 years, and some people serve several years before they ever see their probation board. So
6 months.
I'm really still. I mean, I could be in there 4 years. I could be in there 30. Like, I really don't know.
Yeah, and that will come in February.
On February 20th.
Okay.
Yeah. And the news that I saw today, Jodi's sentence hearing is also February 20th. So I'm going to make a request that we be transferred in 2 different vans. I don't think they're going to accommodate that.
Oh, do they? Okay, I see.
Yeah, when I went to the courthouse last week, what they do, they did this when they transported me to Utah County as well. They pull all the girls. There's only 2 housing here for girls. There's not very many girls here, but there's many for the men. And so they take the girls and they put them in a cell together, in a holding cell to wait, and then they get all the men together and they put all the men in the cells, and then they start putting on the ankle bracelets and the chains and the everything on the men while you're sitting in the cell with these women you're going to the court with for an hour, and you're sitting with them, and then they pull the girls out and they line you up, and then they put the shackles on you, and then they take the men out to the men's van, and then they take the women out to the women's van, and then you drive to the courthouse together, and then they take you out.
She was worried about being in the same transport van as Jodi.
George.
30 minutes, 40 minutes.
Okay.
And then you sit in a cell at the court. So if someone's hearing's at 9, this is what happened to me. There was a girl that went with me, and her hearing was at 9, but mine wasn't until 11. So she went in, and she had like a 5-minute hearing. And then we sat in the cell and talked for 2 hours until it was my turn. And then we rode back together. So you pretty much spend several hours together, whoever is going to the court that day with you.
Interesting. So that means on February 20th, it would be you and her going together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When was the last time you talked to her? Was it?
When was the last time you talked to her that day?
It was when we were arrested.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Listen
left
to this.
early in the morning to go to a dentist appointment with Julie.
She left at 3 a.m. from Jodi's compound to take Julie to a dentist appointment.
Left at like 3 in the morning, and she called me sometime in the morning, and so I went back down.
So Jodi called her in the morning, and then remember in the body cam of Jodi says, the mother is in Utah County. The mother is on her way down. And remember, she was still a couple hours away.
But when I got to the house, I mean, it looked like the movies. There was a red fire truck. There was a black van with tinted windows. There were 2 ambulances. There were 20 cop cars. I mean, it was.
Did you just sit in your car?
No, I
got out.
I pulled up and found a spot to park. She lives on a cul-de-sac. I parked in the cul-de-sac, and I walked up, and the driveway was just full of cops, and I just walked up to the cops, and they said, "Are you the mother?" And I nodded my head, and so they took me and put me in the casita, and I sat there for a couple hours. I just sat there, and then they were finishing looking through the house and stuff, I think, and some of the guys were coming in and out with pizza, and so I think Eve was still there because the ambulance car was there. I was eating pizza with the police, and then once the kids were taken in the ambulance cars, then the detective came and patted me down and arrested me, and then took me to the courthouse for questioning, which I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't say anything because Lamar was really helpful.
Lamar's
like,
her
if you
lawyer.
ever get arrested, don't say anything. I just didn't say anything. And she
How
was like,
did you find Lamar? Was he just assigned to you coincidentally, or did you?
So she has an attorney that she's used for.
You hear this? Her attorney was someone who knew Jodi. It's through Jodi's attorney. She has attorney that she's used for connections, and then Ruby's attorney was through them. This was not a public lawyer. She was not given a public defender.
Connections, and I called him and no one answered, but then she called him and he said, I only do like business law, I don't do criminal law, but here's a number of 2 people who do that I would highly recommend. And so she gave the 2 numbers, and I got the number from Kevin. I don't know how the numbers got from. I don't know how.
Jodi set up her defense.
Kevin said, "Here's your attorney, and this is her attorney."
See? Look at that. Kevin gave her the number to the attorney set up through Jodi. If you were not still involved in this, why wouldn't you be like, no, I don't want anything to do with this lawyer? And why is Kevin orchestrating Jodi's and hers lawyer? Here's your lawyer, here's her lawyer. Yep, this part is very telling, Lindsay. They're all connected and they're all still involved.
And that was the last time I talked to Kevin. It was a couple of days after my arrest. But so I didn't see Jodi at all when I went to the house to turn myself in. I didn't see her.
Okay.
And I went, and they took me to the courthouse, and the detective was like, I've got all night, we can talk all night. And I didn't say anything. I just said I want an attorney. So I could hear Kevin in the hallway talking, and then he left. And when they took me out of the room, they took me outside and cuffed me and said, again, they cuffed me again, and then they told me you're under arrest and then they told me two of the charges, and then they had me get in the patrol car, and that's when I saw Jodi. I saw Jodi was also in the patrol car, and she had surgery on her shoulder.
Listen,
she couldn't put her hands behind her back, so then they pulled her out and changed up the way they arrested her so she could drive with her hands in front of her. And then we had about a 45-minute drive to the jail. And that was the last time I spoke to her. We were in the back.
What'd she say?
And we didn't say a whole lot. I mean, we talked the whole time, but I don't remember really saying a whole lot. We sang hummed a couple hymns, and she was still justifying the whole time. She's like, don't worry, we'll have our day in court. And then
Jodi told her, don't worry.
When we were booked in, they put us in separate cells, and we've been in separate cells ever since. So.
Okay. Do you hate talking about that kind of stuff? Does it trigger anything, or is it just?
No, I don't. I think it's.
Fun?
No, I don't mind talking about it.
Okay.
She has
maybe
no emotion.
Good for me to talk about it. I don't know if you like talking about it.
She laughs.
I was just wondering if it triggered anything. But if you're doing okay mentally, and then that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
These people are all delusional.
I think putting the pieces together and just seeing, like, she knew she was lying the whole time. Like, and it's embarrassing too to like repeat it. It's like, oh my gosh, how gullible was I? Oh my gosh, how much power I gave this person, and I didn't see it.
She's embarrassed because she gave her power? She's not embarrassed about her condition of her kids?
Her attorney's name is Doug Terry, and mine's Lamar. And Lamar, you know, maybe a month into it, he's maybe not even that long, he's like, Jodi denies everything. She denies having anything to do with this. And I was shocked. I was like, what? And I'm still telling Lamar, like, you know, all of the justifications and all of the, you know, I'm talking like a criminal. I sound like.
So Jodi decided to deny everything. Like, I'm not their mom. I'm not responsible, blah, 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 whatever she said. And Ruby's like, oh, I'm over here justifying everything that we did.
Like a mad person. He was so patient with me. He was so patient with me. He would just look at me and like kind of dumbfounded, like I'd said 2 + 2 is 7, and I really believed it. And he would just stare at me. I'm like, what am I saying that's so off? And
why is she laughing?
But that's because I really believed it. But then when I heard that Jodi was not talking like that, she was denying the whole thing, it told me she knew all along. It's like a little kid who doesn't know it's wrong to pee in their underwear. Like, they don't know.
What kind of analogy is this? It's like a little kid that doesn't know it's wrong to pee in their underwear?
Oh, they're not embarrassed by it. It's like, oh, I was supposed to pee in the toilet? Oh, oops. But you get a 6-year-old. You know, you get a 6-year-old who knows they're supposed to pee in the toilet, and they're peeing down the heater vent. They're going to try to hide it. Mm-hmm. And
heater vent? What is she even talking about?
That's when I realized she knew all along, and she's hiding it.
Psychopathy.
And then I was like, crap, what am I done? And that's when things kind of started turning. I was like, she's not been honest. I didn't know she wasn't honest. I didn't know she would lie. And it's like, what else has she been lying about? Where else have I been deceived?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Oh, no, I was just, agreeing.
Yeah.
You did see it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was just like the little string that started pulling apart this fabric. I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Like, what?
So,
I can talk about it now. Yeah, go ahead.
I can talk about it now? What?
Lamar was just very, very kind that day that we met with him. It was very time and just visit with us.
Oh, like miraculous.
Yeah. He and his wife.
Mhm. Yeah, he had a way of like he didn't beat around the bush. Like there were sometimes he would say things that were shocking to me. Like
what?
He would like repeat what I said, but he would say it in a different tone so I could hear myself. And he's like, "Is that really what you think?" And I'm like, "Oh." And he would, but then there were other times that
You have 1 minute remaining for this call.
Do you want to end the call, or do you want me to call you back? How do you want to?
She's like, I'm
we can
good.
end for today, and then we can always talk again.
Her sister's like, I've had enough of your shit
really
for
glad
today.
that he's there to kind of help you through it, and.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, that first night I was in the jail, I just felt really strongly like, I'm sending you help. Help is coming.
Yeah.
And I just felt like that was Lamar, and he's been very, very helpful.
God sent her Lamar. Thank God for Jodi.
Praying for this whole time, so I'm glad that even it's a different kind of help, but I'm glad it's finally here.
Me too. I'll take it. Like I hate this, but I'm taking it.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good to talk to you.
Yeah, it was good to talk to you. You crazy, crazy bitch. He was reprogramming her so she could beat the charges. Yeah, I thought she had a public defender. I had no idea that this was a lawyer through Jodi. And she never asked how the kids were. Okay, now we're going to listen to Jodi's. Hold on. Let's get this up here. Jodi's aren't as long. Let's roll into those.
Nightmare here, Dennis. Nobody wants
Oh,
the truth.
yeah.
Nobody wants the truth. Nobody wants the truth because these kids. You know, I told Doug, I woke up, the spirit told me, it's all the devil. I mean, you've seen him. I mean, I've known you, for 5 years? You've watched him come at me.
Is
come
this
at
Pam?
Me, come at me.
Mm-hmm.
And you're exactly right, because he knows I know what he's doing. And he uses these kids. And he uses all of us as the adults, the parents that don't hold the kids accountable. So now it's abusive to make a kid sleep on the floor. That's abusive. Or it's abusive to, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You can't even raise your kids anymore.
So what I'm saying is you're being crucified in public opinion.
Yeah.
So your fear has to be super prepared.
I don't know who this
and
lady
the only
is.
way he's going to get prepared is if you push him and ride him.
Okay, I will. I'll call him today.
Push and ride who?
Yeah.
He doesn't seem really animated. He seems like, the
Yeah,
pictures are going to destroy you. And I'm like, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. Those pictures we did not do. He did that to himself, yes. Did we put that on him and then he rubbed around and cut himself? Yes. But we didn't do that. We were begging.
We didn't do it. We may have put those things on him and he wiggled around. This chick is delusional as fuck.
God, please help me understand why I'm in this. This doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
to me. And he gave me some information yesterday, and then today really sealed it with some scriptures that I'd love to share it with you.
Yeah, go ahead. You got it there.
Who's this man?
I'm reading the Articles of Faith by Talmage. This is an excellent
Oh,
book. I think everybody should read this book.
Yep, I've read that one. That's pretty deep read in some regards.
It is. It hits all the principles, with
Yeah.
a lot of clarity. So I've got a woman that's interested in the church, so I've been reading some of this to her as well. So she's
cool.
a Jew, and both her parents are from Jerusalem.
She's converting people in jail. Do you hear this? She's reading her fucked up scriptures to somebody in jail, a Jewish girl.
Really?
Yeah. And she's like,
oh, that's cool.
I believe that Jesus is the Christ, and it's great. So this book is really helpful.
Wow, that's neat.
It's like the Bible and the Book of Mormon at the same time.
That's cool.
So, yeah. So there's a section he's talking about the second coming, and I'm coming from this place of I was just getting ready to move, and all of a sudden I ended up in prison. Like what in the world?
Yeah.
And one day you'll know all the details, and it'll all make sense. But if I could talk
right.
code here,
right.
This is the Lord talking to the disciples. They asked him, when shall these things be? Like, when are these things to come to pass? And so he starts talking about the last days. And he says that nation shall war against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And then he goes, but before all these that he just talked about, they shall lay their hands on you. Now, I have been praying for 5 months, explain this to me, what is going on? I'm willing to go there, but please let me go right side up. If you want me to be there because you want me to be there, then great. I will not resist it at all, but please help me understand. So I read this morning, and I just wept and just thanked him and thanked him and thanked him, because it just all click. So he says, but before all these things, nation rising against nation, they shall lay their hands on you. And I'm like,
oh my goodness.
And prosecute you.
You have 1 minute remaining for this call.
Back.
Yep, call me back.
Did you hear that? Okay.
Yeah, call me back.
This is a call from and paid for by
Jodi Hildebrandt,
an inmate at Purgatory Correctional Facility. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. If you don't wish to talk, hang up now.
She's not going to stop.
Thank you for using Telmate.
Are you there?
Yep, there you are.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the Lord says that first they'll lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. And then he says, settle it therefore in your hearts not to meditate before what ye shall answer, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay or resist. And you know what gainsay means?
Wow.
So then he says, and ye shall be betrayed by both parents and brethren and kinsfolk and friends. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what's going on. And some of you shall be caused to be put to death, and you shall be hated by all men for my name's sake. And then he goes on to say,
she totally is in jail, backing up what she did with scripture. Like she did this for the good of all mankind. And remember all those women sitting there watching these men dance like this? Man, there's a lot of people out there that think the same way.
You know, and I've read that before, but I've never been in prison. But I just read that.
Yeah.
I just wept. I mean, the Spirit was like, he just said, this is you.
Yeah.
I read
Good.
in Mark. So that was in Luke, and I read in Mark.
Here's another one.
The same kind of thing, because the Gospels they wrote similarly. So he said, "Now the brother shall betray the brother to death, and the father the son. Like the father will betray the son. And the children shall rise up against their parents and shall cause them to be put to death." That statement right there is what's going on with me. The children shall rise up and put their parents to death, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I just...
You're a fucking prophet.
I cried for an hour straight. Just everything clicked. And
Psychopathy?
I said, I'm happy to go to prison. Because if you continue to read the rest
I'm happy
of
to go to
the
prison.
chapter,
stay there your whole life, bitch.
Be grateful. If you're in this situation, be grateful because you're
grateful.
And
wow.
You will be saved. And
wow. Yeah, that had been quite an experience to read that from your perspective right now. Wow.
So I have just been begging him, like, you've got to explain this to me. Like, I cannot logically figure out what's going on here. And that's it. That's what's going on.
Okay, then.
I mean, when I feel the spirit, I have two physiological reactions. I get really like shaky, like I'm shivering, like I'm cold, or I feel heat, like I have a fever run through me.
That's a hot flash, bitch.
Wow.
You're getting old.
Like burning up. It felt like I was burning up.
Hot flash.
And I was just shaking with gratitude. Like
shaking with gratitude?
Here's your answer.
How do you shake with gratitude?
That's super cool.
Super cool, dude.
Okay. Pretty neat how that works, how the scriptures
Who is this
that,
idiot on the phone? Who is he?
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool, man.
Like I said, I have probably every single day just been,
You're what the French call les incompetents.
Trying to understand, trying to be humble, and trying to say,
be humble, bitch. Sit down.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're living a puzzle, trying to put the pieces together. Just. Yeah.
And in Peter, First Peter, I don't have this one written down. I kind of wrote the other stuff down, so I took it down to the phone. But in First Peter, chapter 4, between verses 12 and 19, I can't remember exactly how he says it, but he's like, when you have something happen to you and it just feels like it's random, it's not random. Like this is intentional. You're it's not just some crazy act of events that's going on. This is like intentional. And that First Peter chapter 4 was another one of the footnotes to refer to, that reinforced all this other stuff. I'm like,
wow.
This isn't just some crazy random.
He's like, wow.
This has purpose. This.
All right.
And then I connected it to my blessing, because my blessing I've been reading like several times a day. The blessing is
Twilight Zone, bitch.
Pretty clear. The first paragraph of it says, these are words directly to you from your Heavenly Father, and according to your faith and diligence, they'll either be a comfort to you or they won't be. So however much diligence and faith you want to put in them. And then the next paragraph talks about, it says, you are a special spirit, chosen and reserved for these last days and sent forth to the earth in great clouds of glory to share the gospel and prepare the people for the return of the Savior.
Prepare a people.
And it says,
preparing a people.
One of the reasons you were
Daybells.
sent here is to share the gospel. The strongest message you will ever teach is the power of your example. And then he says, through the power of your example in the spoken word, he says, your tongue will be loosed, and you will be able to teach the gospel
Jodi's tongue.
in far and distant nations. And then he says, through the power of your example and the spoken word, you will be a great tool in the hand of the Lord in teaching the gospel to many. There's a whole paragraph about an example. I'm like, well, what's a better example than to go to prison?
Very delusional.
Unjustly? And then go teach the gospel. Go teach the gospel. Like,
yeah.
Plan on doing.
So that's what she plans on doing in jail.
That's super cool. That lady that
she is going to be in jail teaching the gospel.
Wish that you've met, and
yeah,
what a neat thing.
Yeah.
Be able to share with her.
I was almost done. I had a guy from a ward that I was staying. I was at their ward. He came over and he gave me a blessing, and he told me probably about 2 months ago. He said, he doesn't know anything about me. He doesn't know about what I do for a living or anything. And he goes, what you've been doing is going to change. You're going to be teaching differently in the next little while.
Wow.
Like, what in the world? I mean, Ryan, I know this sounds
Ryan.
crazy.
His name's
I
Ryan.
can't put my finger on why it feels this way, but
yeah.
It feels like I was being set up to end up here.
Oh my God.
I know that sounds bizarro.
Bizarro.
I mean, I shouldn't be here. I haven't done anything wrong.
Right. But my goodness.
You have 1 minute remaining for this call.
Run out of time.
He's like, we're out of time. We gotta go.
Everything got taken out of the house, and it's in a storage unit so that I could come to jail. It sounds crazy, but it really feels that way.
They're laughing.
I don't know if I'm going to be like some kind of example, but when I get out of here, I have a story to tell, and I am going to try to do everything I can to protect the children, because that's what's happening, is that kids are being horribly abused.
What? Protect the children? And he's like, oh, absolutely. What?
Yeah, absolutely.
And instead of the kids, anyways, it's a story, but when you come
on
about it.
Yeah. Okay, so
that's where it ends. This is so disturbing. Prepper, how are you? It has been so long, Mr. Prepper. It's so good to see you. I hope you're doing well. We are almost to 100,000 subscribers, Prepper. And you've been here since the beginning. How exciting is that? Let's get a sub count in. Since we have Prepper, we're at 98,768. We are just on the cusp of 99,000. And what's really super exciting is that this month alone, in the month of March, we gained, this is a record for J is for Justice. In the month of March, we gained 3,081 subscribers. That is 424% more than January 31st through February the 29th. A 400% increase in subscribers. Is that not freaking awesome? You guys are amazing, and keep liking my videos. Keep sharing these videos. It gets us into the algorithm, and it gets our channel noticed. If you like this channel, please subscribe and give these videos likes when you watch them. It does make a huge difference. Tomorrow, we're going to be going over Chad Daybell's case, because his jury selection starts Monday already. So jury selection Monday, I don't know how long it's going to take. I've got a tentative event for Thursday for opening statements. I don't know when opening statement. It could take all week. It really could take all week for jury selection. So we're kind of watching that, but we're going to do a little recap of Chad Daybell's case. Tomorrow there's a premiere at 3 p.m. And then Monday, we're going to go over Sebastian Rogers' case and the latest. We're going to talk about Chris Proudfoot's ex-wife's interview. So be looking for a video to be dropped, and then we'll be going over that video on Monday. So I guess that's it as far as everything, but I wanted to play this video of John Pryor. This is Chad Daybell's lawyer, and then just to kind of preface what we're getting into with the update tomorrow on Chad Daybell. And I just wanted to share with you guys, I'm sporting some J for J merch. This is straight out of the merch store. This is a very thick, nice tie-dye shirt. There's 4 colors. They are embroidered, and they're not going to break your bank. There's also embroidery on the sleeve. These are very nice shirts. All of my shirts are very quality. I've gotten great feedback on them. I'm very, very happy with the merch store. So I hope you'll consider picking some stuff up. I just got a shipment of stuff, so I'll be wearing some merch, and you guys can see it on me. If you have any questions, let me know. With that being said, let's watch this video.
I'm senior reporter Don Nelson at the Ada County Courthouse in Boise, Idaho. The trial of Chad Daybell is expected to last anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks. If convicted, Daybell could face the death penalty. I sat down with an exclusive interview with Daybell's attorney, John Pryor, ahead of the proceedings.
Attorney John Pryor has been working on the Chad Daybell case for almost 4 years. And you might wonder how Pryor was thrust into the national spotlight.
All I can say is that he reached out to me, and that's how it started. And at this point, we're ready to go forward, and he wants to tell his story.
That story will start next week with jury selection in a trial that's expected to last anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks. And if you think Pryor has assembled a team to take on this high profile.
I'm senior reporter Don Nelson.
8 to 10 weeks? Are you kidding me? Holy shit. Y'all, that's over 2 months. Oh my God.
Ready to go forward, and he wants to tell his story.
That story will start next week with jury selection in a trial that's expected to last anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks. And if you think Pryor has assembled a team to take on this high-profile case, think again.
It's just him.
Well, unfortunately, Don, I'm doing this myself, so that makes things a little challenging. But fortunately, I've had about 3 years and 10 months to go through all the evidence.
He's a prize
look
too.
At what
It's going to be an
present
interesting
to the
trial.
jury, and I'm looking forward to my opportunity to do that.
I asked Pryor, who attended Lori Vallow Daybell's trial on a regular basis, if he learned anything that he could use in Chad Daybell's case.
Did I learn a lot of new things? Oh, absolutely. Did I see what the prosecutor intends to do? Yes. Was it a surprise? No.
I was also curious whether Lori could be called to the stand.
It's possible. It's always possible. Anybody who's connected to a case could be called. And I don't want to and I want to be clear. I'm not telling you that I am or that the state is or anybody else is. Okay. But anybody can be called. If you have an involvement in this case, potentially you could become a witness in this case.
The trial hasn't started yet, but John Pryor is grateful for one thing.
Chin.
I'm grateful that Judge Boyce.
I'm senior reporter Don Nelson.
Watch when Chad walks in the room. His chin leads the way. Watch.
What the prosecutor intends to do? Yes. Was it a surprise?
His chin walks in first.
I was also curious whether Lori could be called to the stand.
It's possible. It's always possible. Anybody who's connected to a case could be called. And I don't want to and I want to be clear. I'm not telling you that I am or that the state is or anybody else is. Okay. But anybody can be called. If you have an involvement in this case, potentially you could become a witness in this case.
The trial hasn't started yet, but John Pryor is grateful for one thing.
I'm grateful that Judge Boyce decided to move the trial over to Ada County. One of the main reasons I'm grateful is I know the folks in Ada County. I've spent better than half my life living here.
And for the next few months, most of that time will be spent at the Ada County Courthouse.
The state government announced proposed legislation today.
It's going to be super interesting to see him defend this death penalty case by himself. I just can't believe it's 8 to 10 weeks. I'm going to have to get another computer set up in here because I'm going to need to do other stuff while we stream this trial. So I'm going to have to get something set up here. Prepper, they say the 2 smartest things a guy can do is remarry his ex-wife and represent himself in his own murder trial. Prepper, you crack me up. You crack me up. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. I've got to get my Daybell sound bites back for the trial. So
what in the world?
That guy, wow. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in today. We're going to wrap this up. I'm going to wrap you up in my love with the credits. Thank you for your support. We're still trying to meet these goals up here. Super thanks, super chat, weekly tip goal, and memberships. Flo, I'll tell you who got their name on the wheel. We've got Flobo, and that's it. Flo donated 5 memberships this stream, so Flo got her name on the wheel of Friday. Yes, we are covering Richens. Richens. Yep. I've got a video up about her mother. I did that about a week ago or so. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks, moderators. Let's roll our credits, and I'll see you guys in the next stream. Bye, guys. Thanks for celebrating Friday on Saturday. I appreciate that because I wasn't feeling good yesterday, so I'm all better. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Have a great Saturday.
Where do you think you're going? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun old-fashioned family Christmas. No, we're all in this together.
Be sure to check out my other videos and playlists for more true crime content. And if that's not enough, you can join our Patreon. Don't have a tinfoil hat? It's okay. We'll make you one. It's that easy. See you guys in the next video.
See you later. Bye.
I don't get it. So hot in here. Your problems, I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. 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 Stand up. You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently.
Fucking fuzzy slippers and lip gloss.
Don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying no shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack.
Thanks so much, Jennifer.
Jennifer loves horses. Bye, Jennifer.